Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with our more famous.
In fact, we're beyond famous. We're infamous.
Mike Carroll and Bill.
Dinglefart.
What?
Dinglefart.
Englehart. That's if you pick up a copy of this week's paper, they're all over it.
Bill's picture's in there 4 times. Well, 3.5.
3.5.
His head's cut off in one little one.
Mm-hmm.
Bill's beyond famous. He's infamous. Hey, David, great article on the podcast. And I thought it was fascinating how you do those negatives. What does it cost, by the way, to get what's this bit of technology you say? You can put the 35 millimeter right up to it and digitize it?
I actually haven't priced them yet, so I know they make them.
Are they real expensive, you think?
I doubt it.
Well, Bill's thinking about giving you the money for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Be happy to.
Bill's thinking, are you thinking about volunteering Bill?
I did. I volunteered Bill there.
Did Bill know it prior to my start of this webcast?
Yeah. Yeah, I put good old Bill on there. Hey,
was Bill aware of it, of his pending
Bill's
donation?
never aware of anything I volunteer him for. I never prior check. If I prior check, the answer is always no.
I was just happy to see my picture in the paper.
Bill's happy to see his picture. David, I also wanted to comment on you pulled out that classic picture there of
the barber shop.
Yeah. And I looked like I was going to have a baby. I had a basketball in my belly.
Well, you were relaxed.
I was relaxed. The belly was all the air was my belly. But I want to say something about, I can't believe how long we've been doing this, because when it's really nostalgic. It's almost melancholy. I'm looking at Howard there. I miss Howard. Howard passed away a couple of years ago. We went to his funeral.
Fred's gone.
And at the funeral, Bill and I got to stand next to some of our favorite pool hall buddies. Wayne Hardwick was there, who's now passed away. Shavy Bishop was there. Dick couldn't make it. The old pool hall gang died off. But I got thinking about all the people. Fred passed away in that picture. Howard. And then we used to always hear from Doug Grimm, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Doug used to comment on the show.
Yeah. Boy, a lot of people passed away.
Yeah. We always appreciated those comments.
Yeah, it was kind of sad.
And you get a lot of them on the pictures, though, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
We do.
Most times. There's a picture.
Look at Fred back there.
Yeah.
Fred. And there's Bill giving Bill
directions.
Howard and I a lecture.
Yeah.
Bill's always giving lectures. He's saying, guys, I'm going to buy that the digitizer for David. I don't care what it costs. And Howard's going, are you that rich, Bill?
Yeah.
You know, the greatest thing about that thing, we try to get Howard on the air to talk about the old days. And I'll be darned, he pops in unannounced on this show.
Yeah.
And I think we turn the camera on him and he freezes, you know. But Howard's just, Bill and I go back a long ways, and I'd say some of our great memories are the pool hall and those pool hall boys, the gang.
Well, Howard was
one of them. Great guy.
Yeah, he was in my class, as was his brother Donnie or cousin Donnie.
Yeah.
And now Donnie's passed away.
Yeah. Chuck Darnell. Webby. Auten. Goulds.
Yeah.
Are we the only Shavy? We're the only one left except for Shavy and Dick, I think. Bobby Ball's gone.
Yeah, Bob's gone.
He shoot pool with us. Jake's gone.
Well,
so that means, and you know, here's the thing: everybody's dead except Bill and I. And Bill's not looking too good right now.
Yeah.
Isn't that a Mark Twain said? All the great men are dead except you and I. And you're not looking too good. Is that Twain?
I don't remember. I remember.
I always just.
I knew you stole it from somebody, but I didn't.
Well, I do, and whenever I steal, I just say Twain or Einstein, and usually you're right. I don't think Einstein said anything funny.
How many pictures do you have this week, David?
Not a ton of pictures this week, only about 35, I think. But there's some good
Oh,
ones.
that's not many.
And
Good.
I do want to mention this week, our photos are sponsored by Trust Bank and Premier Builders. So we've got a couple of
That's
sponsors, and we appreciate their help, and that'll help
great.
keep this going.
Good.
Get that digitizer going. David, did you get any comments on the article?
I haven't gotten any on the article yet, but I
You need
live
to get out
in-
like Bill's. I haven't either, but Bill C goes to IGA and kind of stands around the meat department. He's the, you know where you order where you order your takeout food. Bill kind of just stands there like he's a greeter for IGA. He always tells me he goes to IGA and he gets all these comments. I said, Bill, how do you get all these comments to IGA? He said, well, I just stand by the meat counter there.
Well, I got to talk yesterday coming out of the store with Beth and Mark Pugh. Hadn't seen Beth for a while, had a real nice visit with her. And she was talking about the program and the pictures.
See, if you just hang around with Bill, David, go to IGA with him.
Yeah. So I got
run into
distracted. I've had a text from a spammer. So Bill, have you gotten comments on the article yet?
No, not on the article. It seems like to me the picture. I think my wife made a comment about the picture of the barber shop.
Did she find some flaws?
Well, she had to chuckle at the absurdity of being in such a location, just shooting the fat.
It was classic.
You know what it looks like?
You know
what it looks like? Remember that show Hee Haw?
Yeah.
And they had the barber shop there. And it was kind of like
I thought it was a classic.
Hee Haw moment. Or Floyd's in Andy Griffith.
I would give anything if we could do this down the basement of the pool hall.
Oh.
And have Jake sleeping on the bench over there. And have Wes Gould wanting to beat me up for beating him, and then having Chuck threaten to back him into the fan. They had a great big fan, David, about 3 foot across. And I beat Wes in this one game, and I was a freshman or sophomore. Wes was a pretty tough hombre. All the Gould boys were pretty tough hombres. And he didn't want to pay me. I think he was playing for a quarter.
Backing out.
And he started accusing me of cheating, and I just didn't know what to do. And his best friend, Chuck Durnall, jumped in my defense. That's the thing about the pool hall. You know, right is right, wrong is wrong. To heck with tribalism. And he said, "You're wrong, Wes. You lost that game." And so Wes and he started getting into it. And Chuck started poking him with his finger. And when Chuck pokes you with a finger, it knocks you backward, just like a law of physics. When Chuck hits you, you go. And he backed him into this big fan, and his head got into the fan. Bang, bang, bang. You remember that?
Yeah. You just had to be there to.
You had to be there. And
that.
Gus and Jake sleeping the whole time, and they're yelling and cussing. On the wall's a big sign that says
no cussing.
No cussing. And I'm thinking, well, those guys are violating the no cussing rule.
Had to.
Well, one way to get a haircut, I guess. Stick your head in the fan.
Kenny Huber. Yeah, well, Kenny Huber would have been a great place. I was thinking about places we could do this again. And all of them are old, David. The hotel barbershop, Kenny Huber's, Jake Hill, the pool hall. I'm thinking of Rosie Claire. We'd probably all break our neck trying to get back somewhere in Rosie's shop.
I don't know that any of any of the places,
they're gone.
That's why I said probably the closest thing to a retro Tuscola site, you find something like Tech Elder shop at where the old junkyard used to be.
Dirty Yacht.
It's a little dated in a good way.
Yeah. Dwayne Otto was, Tuscola was full of these characters. I mean, they're larger than life. And Dwayne Otto had this great mechanic, and he had these great big hands that were just bigger, and they were black. And he'd go to shake your hand, and you'd go, "Ooh, his hand is black from all the diesel."
But you couldn't see your own
You
hand.
couldn't see your own hand. He was so big and strong. And I mentioned something to him about. He said, "I can't wash this out. This is 30 years of it's soaked in." But he was on the interstate one time down to Archival. Remember this? And his truck broke down and a semi hit him 50 mile an hour. Should have killed 90% of all people, but Dwayne came out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and the Tuckaroo, his son-in-law, has kept that one building is the way it was 50 years ago. Where Tuck, well, we interviewed him, David, didn't we, for his gift?
We met there
That place,
one day.
that place has some character, don't you think?
I love it. I love that room.
Yeah. Tuckaroo. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else seriously, it's like Tuscola's cleaned up. They got rid of all the characters. Well, there's two.
Yeah.
They got rid of most of the characters.
Most of them.
Larger than life. We've talked about Frank Bellis and oh my gosh, we can go on and on and on about these guys.
Grover Dick.
Grover Dick. Oh man. But anyway, we'll keep thinking about it. There's Jim Ryan. Is that Jim Ryan? I can't tell. No, it's not Jim Ryan. The girl looks. No, wait a minute.
Now you ought to be able to,
familiar.
You ought to be able to tell who these two are. I'll give you a hint. D&M discount.
Oh,
Don Young.
Don Young.
Don and Mary Young.
Gee, man.
Oh my gosh, that Don was. Mary looks like her daughter. I can see it in Mary there. Yeah.
Well, they look like, but I remember them so many years later.
Oh yeah, this has got to be in the 50s, doesn't it? What church they at there? Let me say church attendance.
There's only 18 that day. I just reading that.
Sound like the old First Baptist Church sometimes.
Yeah, that's down from 33 the week before.
Yeah. Well, the marriage. People don't like, they have to buy gifts and stuff.
Got into the offering too.
That's really a nice picture.
That is a great picture. Don made a ton of money when Frank Lincoln was judge in the 70s and 80s. The circuit had a dress code for women. It's since been abandoned, obviously, but no culottes or whatever, shorts or something. So gals from Chicago would come in and didn't meet the dress code, and they'd run down. Don sold these whatever it was, skirts or slacks that would qualify. He made a ton of money off that. He also, in the back of his store, I didn't know they did research. Milk testing with mice in the back. Made a little bit of money off
he was
FDA.
He was a go-getter.
He was an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur.
My dad, when he got laid off at USI and was out of work for a year, would do the milk testing for Don.
Was that an FDA thing, or who was that for? USDA?
It was testing, I think, vitamin D in milk. And the only way they could do it at the time, and maybe still, I don't know, is to feed it to mice and then dissect them.
There's quite a movement there to quit doing animal testing and harmful to animals, even though it certainly does help humans.
He's got on a boot in there.
That looked like Mary, though.
Pretty special.
The old First Federal Savings and Loan. Can you
remember
boy.
That?
Remember that?
Yeah, sure. 64 Chevy sitting there. Isn't that a 64?
Well,
3,
I think so.
something
3 or
like that.
4.
64. Yeah, I remember that. You bought the building.
Well, let me see where this is at.
Well, you got Dr. Lossman up here on the top right.
That's the vault. Is that the bank building? Is that the?
No, I think that's
Oh,
the
this is
pharmacy building.
It's Corn Belt.
Well, this is the Corn Belt, but is this Cohen on the right? Is that the Mitchell Cohen building on the right?
Well, I'm not sure if it's not, if
What's that 3-story building?
I can't remember.
And this was Hettinger on the left, right?
Well, you own the building.
Well, I did. Corn Belt Savings and Loan. Is this where Corn Belt went?
Yeah, that's where Corn Belt was.
Okay,
And then all they've done is change the sign out front, I think.
that's right. On the left, I think, was Hettinger Plumbing. I think
Yeah, Rosie's in there someplace.
Rosie's on down the way. And on the right, I thought was the 3-story. We slipping this in?
Do you remember who was working at First Federal back then?
This has got to be Corn Belt went there in what, the 70s, 60s?
Well, Corn Belt was there before.
In the
This
60s.
is after the move came, before the new building was built for First Federal. I want to say Claude Hawkins. You remember him?
Oh, yeah. Well, but it was First Federal, then it was Corn Belt, because Corn Belt immediately sold. And I'm thinking, I came back from the Army in 73 and Corn Belt was there, and Clyde and Bob Caldwell, R.B. Caldwell.
Right.
I went in the back room there for the application.
Mhm.
And so this has to be the early 60s, doesn't it, or 50s? Well, of course, the car here says 60.
Yeah.
3 or 4. So this is right about the time it went to Corn Belt. I think Claude Hawkins was it.
Where was Corn Belt before
this?
this? That I don't know. I know who was on the board for years.
LH
Corn
Man.
Belt.
LH Man.
Where did you
Gene
decide
Maloney?
this was?
This is the Corn Belt Savings and Loan. I'm just trying to Corn Belt Savings and Loan down the. It's now. Is that the hole in the wall?
Mm.
What street is this?
This is Main Street on the north side. But I'm having trouble with the building on the right, because the building on the right.
All right.
Far right should be. The Cohen's.
Is that the pharmacy building that used to be 2 stories and now it's 1 story?
Save More?
No,
Our store.
where the pharmacy was.
And that's the Star Store.
Oh, the Star Store.
I'm wondering, Bill, this is what's throwing me off. I'm wondering if this is not, it looks like the Corn Belt. They got the brick there. They got the recessed door.
It's got Dr. Lossman's dentist office in the top. Or
we can't see that.
Or was this on?
So that is
well, if that's the original First Belt, this is Patty Waters.
On North Central.
Yep.
West
Central.
North Central.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So that's the.
Although these steps don't they go higher up? Remember?
Well, is this thing on the right the vault, or is it across the street to the Star Store?
Well, that's what I wondered, if this was the vault, the bank building, and this is where, these buildings would be gone then.
Yeah. Right next to this, that building on the left, at one time, I think Paige and Nancy Harris had a florist shop right there. Yeah, this might be West North Central, but it looks exactly like the Corn Belt Savings Loan over on. By the way, before I forget it, you had a shot of a house last week, and people said it was either Beecher Drive or Timmons. I drove by there. I don't know, Bill, we forgot to. I do think it's Beecher Drive, because it does look back, it does back up to the houses on Timmons.
Yeah.
So I think it was Beecher Drive.
Well, I know that the where the vault is, the old bank building, did have a dentist office upstairs.
Had 2 of them, had Dr. Lossman and had a guy named Dr. Getz.
Well, Dr. Maddox was up there for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Why am every time my Zoom keeps quitting on me, I gotta.
Can you, here, let me try and get rid of my thing here. We can't see
it.
Okay, now go down a little bit. Just slide it. Can you slide it? Now, I mean, go south. I can't see the top of the window. There it is. That's Dr.
Oops.
Lossman's.
Does it say Lossman in that
Yeah.
Yeah,
window?
Dr.
Yeah.
Lossman. That's what it says.
Yeah, I think that's, but you know what? The brick doesn't. The brick's not matching up with the vault, I don't think.
But that's where, so that's where Patty would have had her place.
Yeah, it's 2 stories.
I
and
thought
whereas
Patty had
the-
her place next to Flesser's upstairs. Or
No.
old Flesser's.
No.
At one time she lived up there.
I think that's a 56 Pontiac right here, or 57, 56 or 57 Pontiac.
Possibly.
Well, when did it all get tore down, Bill? Do you remember that?
I don't know if it started with the fires or whatever. This is where the new park is
Yeah.
on North Central.
Butterfly Park.
So this window on the right is where we used to do our webcast.
I was going to say that would be where we were.
In the vault.
Mm.
I'll get you back in the picture, Bill.
Oh, yeah.
People can't see you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. There's
This looks
that.
like a mafia.
This is Ducks Unlimited. Mr. Oaks on the left.
Yeah.
Bob DeWitt.
Jane Oaks.
Dan Alexander. Storm and Norman Willoughby. What's his name in the back? Married the Shuey girl, McAllister,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Lisa
Possibly.
McAllister's husband. What was his
Yeah.
first
What do
name?
you do? I don't know.
And the guy on the lower right, I'm not sure. But these are the guys that won the guns at the Ducks Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
Which Oaks is that? Is that
Dan.
Dan? A lot of Oaks.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think where this thing was held at.
This was in Huber's restaurant, looks like, isn't it? They had a railing like that came down.
I think it is. I
Had
think it
steps
is.
on one side and ramp on the
Oh.
other.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, there's Bob Travis's daughter.
On the
Little.
left, that's Tony.
Tony Little. On the right is
Stanfield, Darla.
Darla Stanfield. Is that Darla Pickett?
Darla Pickett Stanfield.
Yep. Now, where was that ATM machine?
Well, that was the. I think this is the
Which bank?
old. Let's say First National. The old First National could be the old First Federal Savings and Loan.
Might be the old First Federal. I don't know.
I'll say First Federal or FNB. Which bank is it? Do you know?
It was at the old IGA.
That's what I thought.
Seriously? In the IGA store. I remember when they had that. It was there for a short time, wasn't it?
Well, TNB didn't TNB have a little office in there? Back on the
Yeah, maybe.
northeast
Yeah,
side?
probably. It was one of the first ATMs around. So
Well, the girls seemed happy.
Yeah, they were happy.
Tony was smiling.
okay, this one's not a picture, but I found this in the file with the pictures. So I thought I would tell a little story about this little graphic. Because this is how we used to have to do things. This is the old cut and paste method of laying things out. So you see this light blue, this is called non-reproduction blue. So when you shoot it with a camera, it doesn't photograph in black and white on black and white film. And so I actually made this design. You can see it up here in 1989. It may have been made 2 or 3 years earlier than that, because it would get reused over and over, which is why all this type is turning brown, because it'd be just aged. But whenever we'd make a map like this, with our rudimentary kind of skills. Everything would just be rectangles and squares and circles and this is border tape and cutting out pieces of type. And so I asked our graphic artist, which was Scott Gower at the time, he said, rather than a square, can you draw me a bill, North Ward? So it looks like North Ward. I came back from lunch and he had it done. He'd gone.
You did a nice job on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is where I learned how to cheat in art because I wondered how
Ask
you
somebody
did that so
Ask
fast.
somebody else to do it.
Huh?
Ask somebody else to do it.
No, he took a Polaroid of the school and then put a piece of paper
yeah.
over it and traced it.
Put a piece of onion paper over it. Yeah, they do.
And
There's actually equipment where you take a photograph and shoot it up in this projector, and you actually can trace it and then paint it. The flaw in this whole parade route, as you can see, is they're going to come and the start's going to run into the people still coming if it's a long parade.
parade wasn't that
Right
long.
Here. Okay,
Well,
because there is a potential.
This isn't to scale, of
They went
course.
all the way to Maine, didn't they?
Between
Oh,
Niles
Enzy.
and Maine, there's
Oh.
more blocks in
Yeah.
here than what it looks like.
Yeah,
But
they
you
went
know,
all up to Maine and came, or went this way on Niles,
Oh, I
back
got you.
down NC, came back.
I got you.
Man, there was a collision head on right there.
There was.
yeah.
That's
Well done, David.
Well
So
done,
anyway,
David.
that's my little graphic that I made back
So the lines,
back in the day.
the blue,
Back in the day.
the blue lines in the middle, the index lines don't photograph either.
They don't photograph, no.
So why is that? Just because it's so light, or is there something, or is it actually designed?
Well, in black and white photography, red turns black and cyan turns white.
So cyan is light blue, like this stuff,
Yeah.
light teal.
Right.
Okay.
And so that
Okay.
enabled us to have these grids that we could use to line everything up and make it straight. Because then the grid would not photograph.
Well, Bill, we lived on Niles and Enzy. We're just almost near that corner.
Yeah, we owned it.
We own that corner.
Oops.
Okay, that's that's out the nursing home.
Tom Stevenson.
Tom, who was the administrator out there.
But that's Daryl Sy standing there in the suit.
That is Daryl Sy, and the girl standing up looks like Linda Middleton. I could be wrong. I don't know if she worked out there or not.
I thought this was
Looked
a
like
nursing home. Someone thought it might be Jarman, but I think it's a nursing home.
I think
It's a nursing home.
Tom was the administrator out there, and that looks like the.
Yeah, he's sitting there. There's nurses things on the right. Sittings over here. That's the office back where
Right.
that other nurse is standing. But that's who that is.
Tom was, when my mom was out there, Tom was the head of, Tom was a super administrator. He really looked after the people. And if the nurses were negligent or didn't take care of your parents or loved ones, he would straighten them out. I always admired Tom.
I wonder what Sy was doing there that day.
Well, he's getting ready to get put in.
Looks like he's carrying a check.
Could be a donation from the school.
Hard to tell.
He was the old grade school principal, wasn't he, at the old Northward
Mhm.
Center? Oh, boy.
Colby Decker.
Colby Decker in 1987. That cow used to be known as old number 40.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the other guys?
I
Is
put
that
this in, Mike, because
Leach?
I thought maybe you would recognize what year this took place.
I'm going to guess 88, 89, maybe. somewhere in that.
87, maybe. Who knows?
Oh, boy, that's you could eat on that for a couple of years, couldn't you?
I believe so.
You know the other guys,
Travis-
Bill?
Travis Dobbs says the National Western is in Denver, Colorado, held during the Denver Stock Show and Rodeo in January. We've had horses win in the roping and the barrels at that big rodeo.
Was that Colby's cow there?
I think so.
Probably. But Travis commented and Josh commented, I'm glad to see some of these younger guys looking at these older pictures.
Look at that tail.
Yeah,
They
look,
fluffed up.
wow. Looks like
They fluffed.
could be a bunny tail.
Looks like the plunger on my toilet bowl thing. You know, in your toilet bowl, you got a big rubber thing that goes up and down. Man, that's a cow.
A float.
That cow
Well,
looks
David,
like it
they're
would
gonna
have
get built.
enough meat to feed the whole town.
There's been a movement for about 10 or 20 years now by environmentalists to get rid of cows because they're belching and
Toot.
and their toots release methane gas. And they say methane gas is about 10 times worse than CO2.
Well,
And they toot and belch a lot with all their stomachs working. Oh boy, there's Christy Hole, Christy
Yeah, that's
Cappy.
Christy Hall, Cappy.
And next to her,
Sarah Coatney.
Sarah Coatney, and next to her is
That's a Catherine.
that's right.
I believe on the right is oh God.
All the way around.
That's Tammy Stickle on the end.
Second row, second one in is McCartney.
McCarty.
I said McCartney, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Then Jamie McDonald. Is that Jamie McDonald?
Yeah.
Not sure.
Rob Taylor, I believe.
There's Rogers.
Yeah. Christy.
Christy Rogers.
In the back row is
Tag Atkinson on the far right.
right. Kelmore.
Is that Mark, the youngest?
Uh-huh.
And then
Elizabeth Lincoln.
Elizabeth Lincoln, fourth one from the
standing next to Jeff
fourth from the
Miller.
left. Jeff Miller, all the way down is Washburn.
Matt Washburn.
Matt Washburn. This is class of probably 80. What do you think?
89 National Honor Society.
There's some sharp kids in there.
There were some very bright people. Tag was a really good kid, very successful.
Tag
all of
was
them.
very
Look
good
at this.
boy.
I mean, did Kalmar? He went to U of I. Walked on, tried to play football. The Miller kid was very bright.
Very bright.
A lot of really successful.
That's not Rob Taylor.
I don't think so.
No.
You're talking about the third one to the left, second.
Yeah,
row.
he kind of looked like him initially when I looked, but now that I'm closer, that's not him.
This is probably
That's
in the top 25 classes, don't you think? Out of
I think it's no. I think it's top 23.
23, top 23.
Oh, this is a good class. I will say this is a really good class. It's one of the
I had him in the 6th grade.
very bright. A lot of people. There he is. There's Bill Dinglehart.
There he is.
Name all your girls, Bill. Name them all. I bet you can do it.
Front row on the left, Lori Hill, Lori Gangloff, Amy Tagg holding the ball, Linda Melanson, Dana Stinger. I'm the coach on the right with the tie.
Well, you need to get a
You
little,
probably gave me that tie.
I gave Bill about 50 ties, but damn it, can't you wear it down to your belt line? Where it's supposed
Well,
to be?
I know I'm not a trumper. Kim Ryan,
Kim Ryan, Kim Pankow.
Adele Esker, Leanne McCartney,
Mhm.
Jana Rodmaker, Colleen Hartman, Leanne Wilcox, Cindy Davis.
It's about 89.
That's the old, no, this is the early 80s. This is Northward.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good
Leanne
group,
goes
girl.
by
Nice
Jessica.
What do you say?
And I think Leanne goes by Jessica, doesn't she?
She may. She's a good rebounder.
If people change their name on us, we're in trouble.
Yeah, we don't do
Well, she was
well.
Leanne in grade school, and then high school she was Jessica.
Well,
If you
I
say,
always
if
called
you
her
say
Nan.
so, Harlan.
Whatever
Yeah.
you say.
Same,
Hmm.
part of the same group, but
Oh, no, you got some
different
different ones
picture.
in here. You got some different, the girl holding the ball is,
I don't know.
well, that's,
I think she was a foreign exchange student.
it looks like Stephanie Higgins.
No, it's not.
I know, I don't think.
Back row left, that's Beth Pugh, Hall of Fame basketball coach. Keep going on the back row. That's one of the nickel girls.
That's Jackie Hornline's daughter, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Teresa Brown.
McCartney.
That's McCartney. That's there's our writer, Lisa Weatherford. Mary Murray,
Mm-hmm.
Cindy Davis. Okay, back to the left by Beth,
Right.
bending down. That's Kim Ryan. Shauna Bean, Shauna Bosch. Kelly Young, Leanne Wilcox, who is Leanne Cleland, married to Jeff. She hasn't changed a minute. I'm not kidding you.
She goes by Roberta now.
Does she?
I have no idea. I just threw that out.
I see Leanne because her nephew plays basketball with my
Leanne?
grandson.
Leanne, I see Leanne and
Next to
Wade are both of them.
now in that next picture, I knew the girls pretty well. That's Denise Groves, Denise Branch,
Mhm.
and then another one of the Nichols sisters. Of course, Lori Hill in front, and Dana Stinger in the front. I think these girls played some JV ball for me at that time.
Well,
And Beth was my assistant. She was in college. She was going to school.
Some of these,
I've seen Leanne.
some of these girls are in my class. I feel like Mike Carroll looking at this picture because I see more than one that I went steady with.
Yeah. Well, we're looking once again at the Bill Englehart metal protectors over the windows.
Yeah, we put those up because sometimes I try to show them how to shoot.
And Bill would break a window.
And didn't want that.
I know I've seen Leanne recently and Wade, their moms in not great health, and they're both taking care of their mom alternate. They're doing a great job. Really proud of them. The gal with the ball looks familiar.
The younger nickel is Kathy.
Well, David, who's holding the ball?
Manager.
The girl holding the ball looks familiar.
That's a foreign exchange student, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, she's from Hugo.
It looks like she's from New Orleans.
I'm sorry,
she's wearing a Bourbon Street shirt.
I don't think she's from France.
So,
hold on. I want to see how many girls are still in town. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, right here's 3 of them.
6.
Right here,
yeah,
straight line.
Yeah, they got a straight line on
those.
6 of them, I think, something like that. Yeah, those were good times. Hopefully we learned a little basketball and had some fun. God.
There he is.
Yeah. That's Carrie Kincaid getting a lesson from the old bear right there. Gene Murray.
Looks like he could still wrestle you to the ground, doesn't
he could. Yeah, there he could.
I wore socks like Carrie's until about the early 90s. They were out of style by then. But back in the 70s,
yeah,
that was it.
Where was Carrie a great high school basketball player at Ken Mundy?
Oh, no, he was somewhere over around
Springfield
somewhere. Yeah, and played at Eastern, went to Eastern play. I think. You know what that is? That's that old scorers table.
At the Northward.
Is
that the Northward scorer table, or is that the high school gym?
I think it's a high school. Yeah. None of that fancy stuff.
Gene Murray probably made that.
He's got fancy shoes on.
Those are all-purpose coaching shoes because Coach Murray was all-purpose everything.
And these look like Chuck
Basketball,
Taylor's. Kincaid's
Track.
got on his Chucks.
baseball. Yeah, he does have on his Chucks.
I've got a pair of Chuck Taylors just like those.
Yep.
Murray was also, most people may not know this, but I played EI League ball. Gene Murray was a heck of a baseball player.
Oh boy. Well, he played baseball at Eastern.
He could hit a ball a mile.
He played basketball at Eastern.
What's the name of that town up north he's from? It's got an Indian.
Winnebago. That's where Mark Bright lives now. Oh boy. Now that's an old picture.
Uh-huh.
And I should be familiar with it, but Bob Griffith is in the back row left. And on the far right's Jeff Butler.
It's Ronnie Joe Wynn, number 40.
Yeah.
I recognize some of them. Next to Griffith is Scott Harsha.
Next to Griffith, Scott Harsha, good kid. Great boy, could he hit a baseball. Number 10's Bill Bailey. 32's Frank Kalmar. Kelly Williams is 54. Tommy Diltz is 42.
40 is Ronnie Joe Wynn, I think.
God, is 20 Wilcox?
Wade.
Looks like Scott Hines, 41. Oh, man. Could get lost.
23 is, looks like Mark Pancall. And next to him is Jamie, is that Jamie McDonald?
No.
No?
I'm going down the. Oh, Jeff Cleland's next to the manager on the far right.
Far right.
Yeah.
Far right, that's Jeff next to, and I can't think who the manager is.
And of course, 1, 2, 3, 4 from the right is Bumper Ferguson.
Bumper.
Yeah. Kevin Connor. I think you're right.
Third one from the right
next to Cleland
is Kevin Connor, and then Bumper.
This kid here, this is
surgeon.
driving me crazy.
It looks just like Chaplin.
Yeah, but it's not.
Looks like Nathan Chaplin, but it's not.
I can't think who that boy is. A lot of years over the. A lot of years. Number 12 is very familiar.
It looks like Bumper's the only one who's smiling.
Well, he knows he's going to be a general in the U.S. Army.
Surgeon. He knows that after this picture, which Butler didn't want to take, they're going to have to run suicides up and down the court.
And where's this curtain hanging at? What gym is that?
That's East Prairie.
East Prairie.
Okay, there's a Brady boy, number 52.
Okay, yeah, this is the 8th grade team.
There's
obviously
50 and 52 are the Brady twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark is back there, 50 something. 55 is Tim Boris. Yeah, the Brady boys 52 and 50.
This is Leniger, 33, I think.
Yeah, that's Jeff Leniger.
Jeff Leniger, yeah.
This is Johns. That's Brad Johns.
Number 3 is Roger Harris.
Roger Harris is 3. Oh God, the Jacobs, is that a double aught? Help me on that.
Mark Jacobs.
Yeah, this boy got killed, and he got killed in a wreck. Help me with who number 4 is, David.
That looks like Mark Cordy.
Well, it could be.
You're thinking of Collier?
No, I was thinking of another kid.
See if I got any other names on this.
Well, that's Matt Dean that's Brian Dean in the back. 53 is Brian Dean.
Okay, Beth Hunt says front row, Brad Johns, Jeff Leniger, question mark, but I think that we've got, that's Carl Ottolini.
Man, it doesn't look like him.
That's according to Laura Bird Smith. Then Roger Harris, Phil Jacob,
Bill Jacobs.
Mark
Okay.
Riddle, Mark Cordy,
Oh.
Todd Ryan. Back row, Mr. Griffith, Jeff Young, Mark Wilkes, Mike Brady, Brian Dean, Tim Boris, Jim Brady, Scott Sullivan, and Jeff Butler.
Didn't know Scott Sullivan.
Scott Sullivan never, if he finished the year, I don't remember him.
So I don't know what year this was.
Well, Butler was an old-fashioned fundamentalist coach, wasn't he?
Great X's and O's coach. Probably one of the best X's and O's coach.
He gets a lot of credit for
track.
He gets a lot of credit for Kincaid's success in high school. He really prepared him for Kincaid, I think.
Yeah, they were prepared. There's no doubt about it. He went on to a banner career at Monticello as a cross-country coach. And his son is the coach at Indiana State cross-country.
There's a good chance I took some of these pictures, because I would have been working at the paper by then.
Leninger was a good athlete. It's Kathy Kalmar.
I don't have any other names.
Yeah, we should know that. Can you zero in on that certificate? He looks familiar.
Yeah, but you can't read the name.
Well, this is no fun.
Yeah.
Scholarship award.
He looks familiar, doesn't he? That's Rick Moody on the right. Steve Kalmar, second from the left.
That's a Gangloff holding
Gangloff, second
trophy.
From right.
Yeah, second from right. Your brother is in the middle. And Frank Kalmar. Huh?
That is my brother Greg.
Yeah, and Frank is there. Yeah, brother Greg, who's going to go home and pound you on the head.
Probably.
Now, the boy on the left, who is that?
That Oakley?
Oakley? I don't know.
One of the Oakley boys?
Yeah,
I just.
This was Vangel's final year coaching, I think. When was it? 86, 87?
Are these the last five guys standing, or?
Yeah, the rest of them are in the ground.
I don't know that.
86, 87, 88.
No, Frank, well, about right.
Greg was class of 82.
Was he?
Yeah.
Frank was in the sixth grade in 79, 80.
Well,
first year I came.
Frank was not your quarterback in 82 or 83. Frank played for a year or two after that. So was he a freshman that year? So Frank this could be 84, 85.
This could be most promising.
This can't be 84, 85. Greg graduated in 82.
Well, Kalmar, you're saying Kalmar's team was before the 83 team with Bates and those guys?
Well, you may be confusing your Kalmars. This is
it looks like Frank.
I don't think that's Frank. I think it's Steve.
That's Steve Kalmar. You know what? You're right. I just realized I was state's attorney.
Yeah.
And I quit.
Mark was younger.
Yeah, no, that's Steve. This has got to be, you're right.
Is this an Oakley or a Bosch?
Well, it could be either one, but I was state's attorney until 82. This could be 81, 82.
This is 80 or 80. This is 80 or 81. Because Greg was the only, he and Mark Shackley were the only ones that went out for football his senior year, and I'm not sure Shackley finished the year. So these other guys, I think, are older than
When did
him.
Greg grad? Well, he went out his senior year, so this is football.
Greg is probably a junior in this photo.
I didn't think he played football.
Didn't
Greg
he
played
said
football. Yeah.
oh,
didn't Toppy Moody reply to this?
Yeah. She
So
said,
she said who they are, right?
yeah. Well,
Did-
she didn't list everybody, but she says Rick and Steve are still good, still best of friends. So that's
Yeah.
Steve Kalmar.
Steve Kalmar.
so the one, yeah, Steve, I remember Steve. The one,
Yeah, well,
he's a surgeon now. I talked to him a couple years ago. He's in emergency room. At least 4 or 5 years ago, he was doing emergency room surgery. The guy on the left looks like a Bosch, doesn't he?
he does.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Next,
Is that Eric Adams on the right?
that's Eric Adams on the right. Or warming up.
Danny Myers next to him.
There's John Perkins.
That's Steve Kalmar again. And that looks like Brian Harris. And then John Brookins.
Mm-hmm.
And then behind Brookins was in the last picture, I think. Who did you say this was? Second from the right?
Gangloff?
Gangloff, Andy Gangloff.
That's right. I think that's who is behind John. So this is probably
81.
Eric, Dan, Brian, and John were all in my class, but they are probably sophomores in this picture.
Yeah, that's probably 81.
Mm-hmm. Dan was going to grow quite a bit more. Look at those long arms he had, though. He had long arms.
Well, look at Eric. He's all arms and legs.
Oh, he was just that build too. These guys were impossible to try to beat in grade school. I hated
I
it.
bet he wishes he still had that hair.
Eric loses hair?
Well, it's not completely gone, but it's not the full head of hair like he had here.
Gordon had his till the end, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, Amos and Charlie Kohlbecker.
Charlie Kohlbecker, yeah.
Gas company. Was it Silco or CIPS they worked at?
Citizens. SoCo.
Either one of them, huh?
Yeah.
Silco. Yeah,
SoCo.
Max
Boy, Charlie liked to play golf.
Charlie was an athlete.
Max Albritton says he thinks this was when his dad announced his retirement and Charles Kohlbecker was succeeding him.
Yeah. Charlie refereed ball games too.
He was a good ref. You didn't argue with him.
No, old Marine.
He's an old Marine. You don't argue with Charles. Good athlete. Played a lot of golf with him. This is the courthouse election results. And I might be one of the, there's looks like Big Dave Bartholomew up there looking at the results on their back to us.
I hope they voted for you.
Well, if they didn't, I threw him over the edge.
Yeah, good idea.
It's like Chob, is that Chob Edmondson behind Dave? I don't know who that is.
Could be.
I don't know what year that is.
There's the fireman looks like, could that be Hedinger maybe?
No.
No?
Too much hair.
With the fireman.
That could be Chob Edmonston standing there.
Yeah, it looks like Chob was a county board member about that time. Boyd Henderson.
Yeah, it looked like Boyd here.
Boyd on the right, looking backwards. This is probably, I'm guessing 82. That's Dave Bartholomew, who I resigned in 81, 82, and Dave got elected. Chob was on the county board. That's Dave up against the boards, a big guy. Let me see if I can recognize some of these people here.
They could be from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
This was the big, I'm guessing this 82 election. I think Chob was the chairman of the board. Is that Hastings back there? Oh, Darrell Ferris. There's our friend, Darrell Ferris, and Bill McCarty.
Doug McCumber behind Bill.
I couldn't get a good look at that. Yeah, Doug. You're right. 3-piece suit, little bitty mustache.
And Daryl has messaged me a few times over some of these pictures. He says that is Joan Jody Dixon, wife of Senator Alan Dixon, on a campaign swing through Tuscola, 1984.
Al's pals.
So
Doug's ready to buy some votes there. He's handing a check over to her. This is the old bank. This is the old football bank. White brick.
let me find Daryl's message here. You can see the family resemblance there, can't you? It looks just like me, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, Daryl was a handsome guy.
He was a handsome guy.
Look at that! Look at that tie clip underneath there. He 4 seasons had an influence on his dress. Daryl was what, class of 69, 70?
Yeah, I believe 69.
Les Hall in that group, Tim McGuire, Matt Morey.
So this is from Daryl. Says I want to give you a little connection information about how we're related. He says my mom's dad was Snowden Wells. Mom was his 24th and final child. Her mom was Snowden's 3rd wife, who had 7 girls and 1 boy, who died at birth. Snowden's 2nd wife was a Dallas. And so he's not sure how my grandpa and his mom were related, but my grandpa was a Dallas, and his mom's husband's 2nd wife was a Dallas. So there's a step relation there somewhere. Says Snowden was born in 1854, and his mother was born when Snowden was 69 years old. Can you believe that? She was 4.5 years old when he died.
He was 69 when he had his last child.
When he had his last child.
Bless him.
25 kids. So if he started when he was 20.
24 kids.
24 kids on 50 years. About every 2 years he had a kid.
No,
it took about 3 or 4
Daryl's grandmother moved to Alberta, Canada. He says his mom and 6 of her sisters were born in Canada. So I didn't know that. Daryl's mom was Canadian.
Well, it gets awfully cold up there.
Yeah, it does. You want to get down south in the warm weather in Illinois.
One of Mom's stepbrothers was in the Canadian military, was killed in World War II. So that's some interesting history there. 24 kids.
Isn't it? That's a lot of kids.
That's
and Snowden Wells.
I don't think so.
Snowden Wells' 2nd wife's name was Sarah Dallas, which was my mother's name. Different Sarah Dallas. Says he's buried in the Tuscola Cemetery, so they'll give you guys something to look for.
This Nolan Wells is?
No. Snowden Wells is, yeah.
He's buried in Tuscola Cemetery.
Yeah. He and his parents had come from Oakland. They'd been from Oakland.
Jiminy Christmas. 24 kids.
Then he sent me an article. He said, this is George Washington Ferris's grandsons. They named him George Washington Ferris 2 years before George Washington became president. And
some good genes there.
Then they had they had twins, and one of them, they were born a day apart. So one of them was named Grant, and he was born while Ulysses S. Grant was president. His brother was born the next day. And was named Johnson. Which came first, Johnson or Grant? I'm trying to read the article here. But they were twins, but they were born under two different presidential administrations.
Was it like a 6-month delay on the second one?
No, it was a day later, but it was
Oh,
on
you're kidding.
Inauguration Day. And one was born under Johnson, one was born under Grant, and they named them Johnson and Grant.
How many wives you say he had?
3.
Well, Snowden
Three
Wells
wives?
had 3 wives.
I would think it should have taken about 4 to 6, I think, for that.
Yeah, or maybe 12.
Some interesting history.
There's Dick Barker, and there's Mrs. Frida Lewis and Mayor Chris Hill.
Long time ago.
Frida worked for the paper and was a stringer for the News Gazette.
Always liked her.
Dick was city treasurer.
Lived in my neighborhood at one time.
Yes, they did. They lived right there on Buckner, next to the Stabler house.
2 down.
Or
2
Barker.
They lived on Barker in an A-frame.
Barker. Mm-hmm.
Little Swiss chalet.
Yeah.
Or,
Worked at Chevy Garage.
Her daughter was Bill's class, died young, and then Tom, her son,
Mm-hmm.
was younger.
I think that's a lot where Scott and Tracy Flesser lived on Barker.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some more of my classmates.
There's your wife.
There's my wife.
I can find her.
Well,
blonde.
she stands out with that blonde hair.
Boy,
did I marry up or what?
you married up.
You know, you did marry up.
You
boy.
know, when you first dated her, you must have sent her a picture of Daryl Ferris and said, "This is me."
Back that up a little bit there. Very good.
All right. You could probably name them all. I can name some of them.
Oh yeah, I can name some of them.
It's your class, David.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are in my class.
Some are. Close in a little bit, would you?
Close in.
Yeah, go in a little bit.
Okay, we'll start on the right. That's Denise
Groves. Yeah.
Groves.
Your wife.
My wife, Jenny Quinn Porter.
Not sure. Dana Stinger.
That little girl, that Tisha Little.
Is 25 Joanne Aguilar?
Could be.
Is this one a little?
And
Dana Stinger.
Dana Stinger.
Mhm.
Okay.
Adele.
this one you didn't get, I think, is Schaefer.
Don't remember. Shauna.
Shauna
She
15.
died. She died in the last 2 or 3 years.
The Schaefer girl did.
Mm-hmm.
Second row, Shauna Bean's 15. Who's the third one that we're staring at?
God, she looks familiar. I screw them up so bad anymore. Is that Jennifer Drake next to her? All right, kind of hard to tell. Kelly Young's at the end of the line. Back row on the right, it's
Cheryl Gobble.
Colleen Hartman.
On the right is Cheryl
That's
Gobble.
okay.
Is that Shannon Meyer next to her? Maybe.
One of the Meyer girls.
Mhm.
Mary Bud Meyer's daughter. That's what I thought. Which
Could
one?
be
Which one is
one
it?
of them. I don't know.
Shannon. And second from the left in the back is Marty Chris.
Marty Chris, yeah. Why do I remember her hair being blonde? I don't know.
Marty, she had red hair.
Did she? Seemed like she had light hair to me. If I could see Adele Esker now, I'd tell her why the frown. 25 could have been one of the best girl athletes we ever had. She ran into a problem. Bill Butkovich.
Oh, Bucko?
Yeah.
Did Bill not like her, or?
Oh, we had a little problem.
I feel like Mike Carroll again with this picture.
Why is that?
I see at least 3 former Flames. Well, one's not a former Flame.
Well, I was going to say one of them better be a current Flame.
One is a current all-time forever Flame. Yeah.
Yeah, one's their all-time Flame. Did someone identify this picture then?
Well, not like we like to see with everybody's name.
I was wondering if that's Joanne Aguilar there.
Which one?
First, bottom left.
25?
Yeah. Yeah. She was really a good athlete.
She the one that got Bucko-ized?
Yeah.
Was she ever get hit with a clipboard?
No.
You'll have to give us some initials on this one.
Which class was she in? I think that's your wife.
I know from the picture.
That is not my wife.
Olin Mills took photos back in the 50s for all of us.
Well, who is it then? Because
You
I
want,
can't.
you want married initials or maiden name initials?
Married initials.
Married initials or KS? Maiden name initials or KA?
I'm not on it.
I couldn't believe it when I picked up this folder. Randy Hastings dropped off a box of old photos, and I picked up the folder, and this is the first photo that fell out, and I recognized it immediately. That is
your class.
That is Christina Adams Smith.
Okay.
Seriously, isn't that wild?
At about 16 months old.
I took a diabetic food course from her on how to stay healthy. And I totally forgotten what she said.
I had Christina in the 6th grade, pretty girl and beautiful woman. She's
Eric's sister. They lived on Barker Street when she was born, and I remember when the day she came home.
She got this great house out south of Patterson Springs.
Yeah.
Married Ron Smith's son.
Yeah.
Pretty girl.
Pretty girl.
Looks like Dirty Ots. We talked about Dwayne Otto's. That's looks like the backup.
Now, for those that really are historians, at the old junkyard, the roof on the background, those are those old CCC camp.
They moved over there.
Barracks. They moved them over there.
From the high school, the old high school
Memorial Field.
Practice field.
Mm.
Huh.
That's the old fixed boom truck, you know. It would not go underneath the underpass. There's money in that town. Back in those days, money.
There's a lot of money in that junk.
Okay.
I see Jack Allen.
On the left is
Artie Moss.
Artie Moss, Jack Allen. These are the USI guys. Office help. Looks like Roscoe Humphrey, 4th one.
That's Lane. Claire Lane is there.
And there's Green.
Burl Green.
5th one in is Burl Green.
In the back is Oh God, he married Ivadine.
Snyder.
Loser. Jim Loser.
Jim Loser. Jim Loser, you're right.
Tim Holt says, fifth from left, Pete Green, question mark.
Burrow is what I knew him as.
That's Kennedy in the back on the right. Dale Richardson.
There's Dale Richardson. He's the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth one from the right is Dale Richardson, and that's we know him. Oh, we know almost these guys.
Damn.
Slide it left again. Slide over to their side. The other way. Zero in on this fourth guy there.
From the left?
That's Claire Lane.
It is Claire Lane. Yeah. I said Roscoe Humphrey. I think that's Claire. I switched my vote. Yeah. Claire Lane. Lived on Center Street or Court Street. Two boys. There's the old sheriff, Gene Wiggle.
Gene Wiggle. That's back before we had fancy stuff in the cars. We had a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
Wiggles went to the same church as I did growing up, and Gene was always a big presence in the church. It was always a very, very kind and friendly.
Yes.
He's a good man.
I don't think he even carried a gun. Well, there we go.
Sandy Colbecker's at the top. Jackie Myers on the far right, I believe. Oh, help me on the bottom, girl. That's Heidi Huber on the far left. Ugh. Gosh, the girl at the bottom. I'm embarrassed. I can't. What do you have?
I've got Heidi Huber, Kaylin, Sandy Colbecker Bates, Mary Hance Hatfield, Tanya Warner, and Jackie Meyer Manzella.
That's Mary Hance, Mary Hatfield.
In the middle.
Yep, it sure is. Now I look at it.
Now that you've told us the names, we got it.
Yeah, we got it.
I saw Jackie the other day. She had
this Warner. This Warner.
Is that Roger's sister?
This, I don't know about that.
That's according to Mary Hatfield, who's in the picture.
Well, she would know.
I got to argue with Mary.
I'm not gonna.
Mary was stepsister to your classmate, Pam Grover.
Yes, she was.
Pam Jensen.
Yeah. What a good group of kids. We don't know this guy. We don't know him.
You don't know this guy?
No. Have no idea who it is.
Chuck Holmes.
Charles Holmes. And is that when he was running Little Fuse?
Well,
there is a Little Fuse folder there, binder.
I bet that's when he was in charge of Little Fuse.
He was an inventor. He invented way back during the gas crisis. He had a manual adjustment for an 8-cylinder engine that you pull a lever and it shuts off four of the cylinders, one bank. And so it turns into a 4-cylinder car and you get better mileage. And I think he patented it.
He did.
And actually sold it. And then they came out with multi-porting and fuel injection, all kinds of other devices to get improved mileage. But for a while there, he solved the gas crisis.
And his daughter brought in his patent. It's like a trophy thing.
Yeah, they're all smart. They're all good car heads. His older brother, Gary, was an engineer, very successful. Even Jay was really good with cars.
Well, talk about nice people. Chuck and his wife, Sarah, are two of the nicest people you could ever meet.
Good folks, believe me. Yeah, we think a lot of them.
We saw Danny Meyer earlier, and there's his
Wayne
dad.
on the left. There's Wayne, left of him.
I don't know if the guy in front of Wayne is yawning or horrified.
It was during COVID and he was trying to be thoughtful, coughing.
But with the Laverle, Byers, and Wayne, there must be a
It's like
farm.
Laverle, yeah, it looks like Laverle sitting behind Wayne,
Mhm.
a young Laverle Byers.
And there's Danny.
Yep.
There he is, right in the middle.
And in the back, second from the left is a Schultz, Mitch Schultz. And these other guys may be other towns.
I think they are. Some of them are presidents of other chapters.
On
It
the
looks
far right,
like.
the one on the right looks like a Newman Luth.
Does that say
Yeah.
Doug Run?
Mike Luth, probably Newman. Look at that. Look at Dan's smile.
Well, he just snuck up next to this girl.
That's $1 million smile right there, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's got plans.
He's thinking ahead.
He's thinking ahead.
There's Bill Burris and Bob Trimble.
Boy, oh boy. That's a pretty good basketball team right there.
Yeah.
In the back, you got that's John Stonecipher, Dennis Ryan, Gosnell.
Not Gosnell.
Gossett. Then you've got Gail Cook.
That's the other twin right here, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Jim.
That's the other Stonecipher.
Yeah.
Gail Cook next to him, Chaplin.
John Surmas.
Surmas hidden back there. Ricky Wellborn.
Sipe.
Eric Sipe.
And in the front, Fred Hausman and Dennis Oakes. That's a good ball team.
What is this here? 71, 72?
71.
Bobby Trimble. We let Bob Trimble get away. He was a student assistant here a couple of years, and why we never hired him and Monticello got him is beyond me. Why'd we not get him? He's an Oakland Oak. I was in grade school and watched him play in 59. He was.
I believe there was a lot of hard feelings over that.
Not hiring him.
Yeah. How can you not hire him?
How can you not hire Bobby Trimble? He was a great basketball player. He set the record in the shot put. Great guy. Coached all those years. Then his son was a great athlete, decathlon athlete. Bob's got a cabin out in between Hinesboro and Oakland. Now he's kind of retired out there.
Walnut trees.
Walnut trees
There's
everywhere.
Walnut trees.
A lot of comments on this picture.
Once again, now this is getting scary again, but we got Ricky Wellborn passed away. Dennis Chaplin passed away. Got a lot of guys.
Gail Cook's gone. Dennis Ryan's gone.
Dennis Ryan. Yeah, that was one of Coach Burris's best teams.
That was a real good team. Yeah.
What was John, a senior, junior on that one?
No, he's senior on that.
Okay, there we go. That's the coach from over at Lewistown. Ray Tolan. They brought in.
Ray Tolan. He was here for 1 year or maybe 2 or a year and a half.
Number 12 is Gary Campbell. 32 is his brother Chunk Campbell, Greg Campbell. 20 is Arnold Dean. 21 is Mick.
Steve Mick.
23 is, I think, Gossett. Is that Gossett?
23. That looks like a Gossett. Can't be sure. Yeah, this
24 looks like.
Yeah, so they hired him. So that's when Murray said, "That's it." He said, "The next guy you hire is going to be me. You're not going to mess around. We're not going to mess around with these out of towners we don't know anything about."
Tolan coached over either Lewisburg or Petersburg or whatever that area was, and supposedly a real high-powered coach, and came in and didn't do that well. Who's 20? Who's 25 there? Is that Woods?
Andy Wood.
I don't remember.
Huh?
Andy Wood.
Andy Woods, 25.
So
Gary Campbell, great athlete.
And 23, according to Brad Taylor, is Greg Wilkes.
Who?
Greg Wilkes. Well, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Brad Taylor has the names.
Is it 11 Van Steenhouse?
Looks like a Van House, but I
Yep.
don't know if that's right here.
I was
Matt
gonna
Van
say,
Steenhouse. He was one of
Matt
my
Van
bitty
Steen-
basketball coaches.
Bean 20. I'm not sure about 15. Is that tag at 24? Is that tag Atkinson?
no,
Tag would be younger.
yeah.
You ready
Was
for the
that-
names?
Well, let me
Yeah, go ahead.
One more guess on 24. Is that Lewis?
Nope.
Okay, I'm ready for the names.
Brad Taylor says back row, Mark Oakley, Jeff Fruit,
Oh, Jeff Root.
Jim Whitmore, Brad Dixon, Dean Arnold, Matt Van Steenhouse, Glenn Mick, Greg Wilkes, John Buck, Jeff Gensler. Front row, Greg Campbell, Phil Warnes. Then you got Tolan and Gary Campbell and Andy Wood.
Uh,
Well, we got 90% of them.
You did. This next picture, I was also, there's two pictures together. I was surprised to find them in the newspaper archives. See if you know who these two are. No clue.
Well, give us initials.
Well, the one on the right is GP, and the one on the left is DP.
so I take it they're brothers.
They are brothers.
Starts with a P. Last name. And
Pankauer Pollock or Pangburn.
You guys
Help.
cracked me up. You guys cracked me up. The one on the
Porter.
left, the one on
Porters.
the left is me.
Porters. Porters. I got it. Porters.
The one on the left
Oh.
is me at age 5. And the one on the right is my brother Greg.
I,
Well, you don't have a-
I yelled out Porter before you
yeah,
told us.
yeah. I have no idea that's you.
Yeah.
No kid.
You look way, way too sweet and innocent.
Yeah, you're a nice little boy
Yeah,
there.
that's not a kid that would run away and his parents would say, don't let the door hit you in the ass on your way out.
Yeah,
That's not that kid.
I don't see
There-
a cigarette.
There are no pictures of me prior to this one.
Yeah.
My grandmother saw that there were no pictures of me, and the Grab It Here store was having a photographer in, and she told my mom to get down there and get my picture taken. And I had 4 of the poses. This is the 5th pose that I did not have.
Well,
Yeah.
good.
Now these are in the box of pictures from the Tuscola
This was
paper.
in the box of pictures. I think probably because there was at one time, I think it was the Review, could have been the Journal, but they would run
did.
pictures of people's families with all their
Yes,
kids.
they did do that.
And I think that's why these pictures were in the because
Other than
you know, sometimes you get pictures like this, people put in happy birthday pictures.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
my wife said, I can't imagine anyone in your family paying for a happy birthday ad. And that's probably true. But anyway, these
That was
pictures were in the folder.
That was your runaway picture, just in case you ran away. They're gonna put that on milk cartons and post office walls.
What
You were
a,
a happy dad.
what a sweet little boy.
Why
Yes, you were.
why did you run away back then, David? What was the problem?
Well, there's too many people in the house, and
Yeah, they
the
wouldn't feed him.
grass was greener on the other side.
Always is. Oh boy, now we know this guy.
You know this guy.
Me.
Just initials just for a second.
This is he's passed now, but this is one of my favorite people. And
Gordon?
No,
his son was in my class, and his initials are KH.
Oh, Keith Hunt.
That is Keith Hunt.
Young Keith Hunt.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Good
So,
picture.
Yeah. Brad was in your class, wasn't he?
Brad was in my class, yes.
Was his wife Mazu? Was she in your class too?
Chris was younger,
Okay.
Brad's wife. Beth says he's wearing a goofy hat. I was told this was taken when he first started working at Cabot right out of high school. Beth Hunt says 1957. And Angie Kern says he didn't want to mess up his hair.
Yeah. Well, you get to a certain age like Bill and I, and you don't care about messing up your hair because there's nothing to mess up.
Nothing to mess up.
Don Clifford says looks just like Brad. He does look a lot like Brad, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Another one of my favorite people.
You'll give us initials on this?
KF.
Graduate your class?
No, he's my brother, Matt's age.
Hmm.
Don't know.
This is Daryl's nephew, Kurt Ferris.
Well, Kurt.
You know what? That's funny because now that you say the name, I look at the face. I tutored him one summer.
Yeah. I
This was
believe
fairly
he's in Charleston now.
Is that where he is?
Yeah. Raised by his grandparents and
Yeah.
spent a lot of time at our house growing up. Kurt had
Yeah.
special needs and just the most
Yeah.
affectionate, loving kid you ever met.
Yeah, he was a happy guy. We worked on our studies together.
Well, that looks like that's the Tuscola National Bank, all the employees.
Probably a Christmas party or something.
There's Bill in the back, and that's
Wes with
his daughter and
Ashley.
son.
Yeah, his three children. They're in the front.
There's Larry Christine with his son, that Lance. Les Hall with his three children.
Yeah.
Amy, Andrew, and Ashley. There's Juanita Brace, Juanita Ray. Oh, and there's Shoemaker, Marcy.
Mm-hmm.
There's Bozarth, Mulligan Bozarth with
over here on the right, Sue Snyder.
The girl right in front of Bill McCarty and Matt is Fettig. That's Mark Fettig's wife. I forget her name. There's Oaks, Mary Oaks.
That's Sherry Warple from Archival, actually.
And then this is
Sue Snyder.
Dave Snyder, Sue Snyder with her two kids.
Sue Sanderson.
Sue Sanderson, Sandy Sanderson's daughter.
Virginia Henderson in the back.
Virginia.
And David standing next to her.
Young David.
Mm-hmm.
Marcy says there's also Joyce Moorhead, Janie Clark Harper, Les Hall, Cheryl Bozarth, Larry Christine, Terry Fettig, Bill McCarty, Mary Oaks, Sherry Clark, Virginia Henderson, and Sue Snyder with their kids. Thanks for a Christmas ad for the paper.
Terry Fettig, Mark was the administrator of the hospital. Terry had two daughters. That was evidently she only had one by that time of the picture.
A lot of comments on this picture on Facebook.
Very popular bank. Bill McCarty set the tone for the local friendly bank. Everybody liked to bank with Bill.
Yep.
And that's David Porter, grown up.
Yeah, he's not smiling and happy and
No.
innocent.
Not the sweet little kid that he was.
No, he ran away from home and found cigars.
Yeah.
So we stumbled upon many of your dates today, huh, David?
Yeah, there were several there that, of course, when I include, going steady for 1 day counts,
Well, I count as a date if I say hi and they smile at me.
Yeah.
That's a date. That was a date.
If
right?
they spoke, it was an engagement.
Well, I thought, yeah, if they smiled, we were going to get married.
There were several of them there that were my girlfriends at one time or another, but they didn't always know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Who was your girlfriend that didn't know it?
oh my gosh, I had crushes on about everybody.
Well, I did too.
I think my first, you'll never guess this, my first crush in about the 4th or 5th grade was a girl a year or two ahead of me, Ann Ogden.
That was your first crush.
I don't know.
Well, we saw in those
Thinking-
pictures, we saw Ann Schaefer. Ann and I went steady for 1 day in 3rd or 4th grade.
Short marriage.
Yeah, it was not long lived.
No, I don't.
Now there's a secret to this, and we've never known what it was. There's a secret to it.
My
There's
first.
Lena
Really?
Weatherford Hill said she kept a diary. She said she has in her diary from junior high. She has one entry that says going steady with David Porter, and then the next day she wrote broke up with David Porter.
Yeah.
That was
Bill's
pretty
gonna-
typical.
Bill's going to tell us his first crush. Do you remember?
It has to be. That's because this is as far back as I can remember. I think when I came to Tuscola, Pam Jensen.
Oh, she was cute as a button.
Oh yeah, always had a little rawhide jacket thing. She was country girl bourbon, her
Yeah.
grandparents.
She inherited. She had an aunt down there, left her some little land down in
Yeah,
Bourbon. She
well,
still got it.
and Pam and I had to take care of a task the other day on behalf of the class. No, Pam's wonderful,
She's a great gal.
person,
Great
great
gal.
gal.
But not as many pictures this
Bill
week.
and
I knew it would take a while to get through them.
Bill and I in the 8th grade got in a fight over one girl.
Yeah, yeah. Ellen.
She got lucky. She got lucky, found a nice guy.
She found a great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
She got lucky, didn't marry either one of you.
Now they all,
she dumped us.
I think of all those girls that got lucky with me, and good old Beck.
Good old Beck.
Good old Beck.
Starting to sound like Julio Iglesias.
Yeah.
All the girls.
Oh God. Well, now we know why you only
Hey,
lasted
Beck.
1 day.
I just said on the air that I got lucky when I found you.
Oh, I bet.
How about you? You regretting anything?
No comment.
I got a no comment from Beck. How's that? How's that, David?
Well, the
That's
joke's
right up.
on
That's
her.
right up.
If she married you for her money, the joke's on her because you spent it all.
Well-
Well, said it was him, and I said, I should remember that.
So Becky, I dated Becky in high school, and then I dated her in college, and both of them were flops. I got dumped like a wet rag on a floor. And then 25 years later, we dated again, and I think Becky thought I was a big attorney. I drove a Datsun 280Z sports car and had a new Buick.
Give me some credit.
So Becky thought I had some money, and within the 4th date, I asked her to borrow $2,000. And she looked at me like I was from Mars,
And
and she loaned me the money.
Yeah, that's.
And I said, this is the girl for me. She loaned me money. And that was that.
that was that.
Did I ever pay you back, honey?
Huh?
Did I ever pay you back that 2,000?
Probably not. Or anything else.
You might have to do this afternoon. Get out the checkbook.
I got a checkbook. I'm sorry, hon.
Yeah.
Well, I think all three of us wound up
What's-
getting lucky, don't you, think, David?
Yeah, what's the interest on $2,000?
Well, that's up to about 10,
25
20
years.
bucks.
At least, David, I enjoyed the pictures today, and
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I could still run through some names.
You did a
Yeah,
good
you
job, Bill.
Did pretty well.
I just thought your tie was too short.
Well, it was, but
I gave you about
it's one of
30
your old ties.
I gave you about 30 ties.
I know you did. Thank you. I couldn't afford them.
You could,
Well, I could buy one now.
now
Yeah.
that we don't need ties. Honey, you're eating a lot
There
of
goes
grapes there.
lunch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, thanks to Trust Bank and Premier Builders for helping us out. And
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, David.
Appreciate your work, Dave.
Appreciate your work. Appreciate all the
Hope everyone would read the article in the paper this week about the program.
appreciate your kind comments and the program. They were appreciated. And
well, Bill didn't say anything nice about you, but I did.
I told you to hunt through there and see if you could find something Bill said nice about me. You did say something nice about me.
I just don't remember.
You said I was a good athlete.
Oh, you were that. Yes,
Thank you.
I'm on your team.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you
I'm
next
like
week.
Trump. I'm like Don Trump. I love Bill because he loved me.
'Cause he
Oh,
loves
God.
you. Yeah. All right. We'll see you next week.
See you, David.
See you.